Good evening, and we are back with our final session for our 2-year-long campaign, Witness to a Ruin. We've seen these characters move from level 3 to level 8 and prevent one apocalypse and potentially cause another. But whether or not that will happen, we will see tonight. The party has defeated Nerase, champion of the Titan of Greed, Rakaros, has found the champion of the Goddess of Destruction and Rebirth, Wishara Wildless, and have now made their way into another realm where they are greeted by the gods. That is where we pick up. As you find yourself in a shapeless sort of world where everything is just a little bit blurred around the edges. The only things that are clear are a few 20 or so feet away from you. There's a long table surrounding which sits 11 beings, some of whom you recognize. You see the antlered god Vias, god of nature, patron of Nimbo. You see the astute-looking, wizened face of Idol, god of criminals and justice, patron of Monk. You see, at either end of the table, on one end, the shape of a woman, skin pale as snow and black as night in varying patches. Varea, goddess of life and death, and on the other side of the table, similar skin, but the patch is the exact opposite of her sister, Chaos, goddess of rebirth and destruction. The other gods scattered amongst them. Wishara Wildless stands beside you, hefting her blade which rends the plains. As the four of you receive an invitation to join the gods at their table.
I will just tap Blurta and say, you feel like the sort of person that would keep notes even at this meeting.
I will keep mental notes.
So at the end of our last session, I believe Vias, the
Extended
headed
a
nature
hand to
god,
you.
extended a hand. So kind of almost without thinking, I'm already stepping forward. The armor of Vias that I inherited from Shohul Snowsong on top of that mountain is in this kind of liminal divine space we're in is different. It is like it's almost sprouting. Like from under the metal plates, there's this constant shift of just small branches and tendrils and bits of mycelium that grow, fruit, die, wither, and restart, appearing and disappearing, just kind of in a gentle, kind of constant pattern over the whole of the armor. And I'm just stepping towards the table.
Yep. There are 5 chairs. They're not next to each other. There's one next to Vias, to which he's invited you, Nimbo. There's one next to Idol. There's one on either end, one next to Varea, one next to Chaos. Actually, there's 2 empty seats next to Chaos, one on either side of her. And Wishara strides up and sits down at one of them.
I think Muck is walking with purpose and kind of clambers onto the chair next to Idol so that she's standing on it and just goes, dude, look at me. Where were you? Where were you?
So just so you know, when I picture it though, I picture Morgan Freeman as God in Bruce Almighty. So that's who's
Nice.
looking at you now. He just gives you a kind look, but also one of faint amusement. Nothing that the gods, or perhaps your friends, can't fix.
Ugh. And then she just like sulks and sits down.
The chair is made for small Mock's size.
Oh, they didn't even make me right. What happens?
Oh,
if
you're still small.
I'm still small. That's why I said, look at me. Look at this.
You're small in like the astral realm as well, so it's like a cosmic smallness.
My soul has shrunk.
I'd like to know where Blurta and Em are going to sit, whether you're going to sit.
I think Blurta is going to take the chair next to Chaos. What kind of chairs are these?
They're like comfortable dining chairs.
Okay. She's going to do the thing where like you turn the chair around and sit like resting your arms on the...
Like they are quite high back, so you're basically resting your chin on
Okay.
the top of the seat. Like if you were to put your arms up there, you'd struggle.
Just like...
As you go to do this, the chair's back sort of shrinks down so that it fits more comfortably.
No, that's just... It doesn't feel as good when it does that.
It grows back.
Where does that leave space?
Next to Varaya.
I think I'll just go stand by the chair.
Do you not wish to sit? Or would you prefer to sit elsewhere?
I always like to be on my feet just in case I need to make a quick exit.
That would be tricky from this plane. But I respect it.
I'll give it my best shot.
I'm sure you would. A smaller chair appears next to the big chair. More like a perch. Would your companion like to sit?
I don't get to make those decisions. You'll have to ask him.
I'll stick with them, thanks. Blurta, you see the person sitting next to you, the god sitting next to you, is a being who, no matter how much you look at them, you're struggling to... As soon as you look away, you can't remember what they look like. But you do see that they've taken out parchment and a quill and have begun taking minutes. This is Thelef, the deity of knowledge.
And also
Very well.
presumably mysteries. I'm saying out of character.
Thelef's nickname is the Unknown because you can never know everything. So yes.
So are all of the deities
All
of
of-
this universe at this table?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Varaya speaks up. My siblings and I have chosen well, for you have succeeded in what we ourselves could not do from our plane, where we now find ourselves. But it is not yet finished. And so, we ask, what you have decided. What is to be the fate of the world?
We've thought about this and we've talked about it. And we've learned a lot about power on our journey. Our power, your power, the powers that shape and form and are shaped and are formed by this world and the societies we make in it. And I think we all have things that we need from you. I know that you sealed yourselves away from the world because you were worried about damaging it by tinkering with it. And honestly, I think that was probably a difficult decision, limiting your power. And I was brought up to worship that power, to worship you. But you need us as much as we need you. In fact, we've kind of been let down by you. You left us in this world. You just pieced out and left us with this monster of greed that was gonna corrupt us all along and gonna cause some of the worst parts of sentient life to concentrate power and resources in itself. Come on, that seems honestly irresponsible. Do your job, guys.
You, with all due respect, we've heard a lot about how well you all did choosing us, but we did all the work. Like, let's be real, you guys were up here at your little table and we were down there making it happen. And I think that really gets to the root of our problem. A world where the people up there do the choosing and the people down there do the work. I think from now, the people who do the work need to be able to choose and need to be able to choose what's for the best of everybody.
And Rakaros wasn't the only, isn't the only thing that causes harm, isn't the only thing that allows people to hurt other people for their own profit. But having an avatar of greed embedded under the land that we live on and with, that's gotta do stuff to us. That's setting us up for failure. So step one, we gotta get rid of that guy. Like, Rakaros is gotta go Karos.
Yeah, because that time's
was
having
good?
some. That was so good.
Okay,
It was so
cool.
good.
I was practicing it on the walk up. It came to me. I don't know.
No, you got this.
feel-
I'm just hyping you.
So Muck and Nimbo, you're like sat kind of on opposite ends of the table, just like loudly whispering at each other as the gods look amusingly on. Vias clamps or pats your shoulder, Nimbo.
It was a
We hear
good
you.
joke.
We hear what you say, Nimbo. Muck. And we cannot help but agree. We have no excuses. But you are owed an explanation. It does not make our actions better. It does not absolve us of our faults and our blame. But you deserve to know why you. Vias looks at Chaos. Who speaks next? It is perhaps I who is best placed to explain. As you say, Rakaros, Titan of Greed, cannot but help to have affected the people of your plane being buried in the earth. Rakaros was one of the old gods, the pantheon before us. One of the only ones to survive the war. For years, we ruled with the aid of the people. We did as they asked. We supported them. But even we are not uncorruptible. Rokaros took a hold of me, and I forgot about rebirth and created only destruction. And hence, we gods fought one another. My brethren fought me. And one part of me wished for them to win. That is why my champion, Bashara, joined forces with the others. To stop me, to stop Rokaros. You have seen the corrupting influence he brings. And your compatriot perhaps may have been freed of Rokaros' influence through the sweet embrace of death. That was not a choice for me. All that could be done was for us to be sealed away from his influence, to allow for healing. But in doing so, the champion sealed away those who had the power to destroy Rokaros. It was for our benefit that they made that choice. And it is not until now that someone can choose, and perhaps has chosen, to reverse that decision. If it is your wish that Rokaros be destroyed, then we shall ensure that be done.
And how is this journey of healing going?
Until recently, terribly. But, as you have learned, Pharea and Chaos are two sides of the same coin. Opposites in many ways, and the same in others. Watching the four of you, opposites in many ways to one another, and yet similar in so many, has allowed us to begin to reconnect. It is by no means complete.
But if you can heal, if the world can heal, if Nerisei can heal, can be built back up from broken pieces once the corruption is removed,
Yes.
then I think anything's possible.
It is not enough to kill Rokaros. Rokaros must be destroyed. And it is not enough to...
Well, destruction's your speciality.
It is. And it is also not enough to give birth to a new era. That new era must be filled with life. If you wish us to destroy Rokaros, your world will change. We will aim to have it change for the better. Because you are right. You have done all the work. We may have simply nudged the High Priestess to put you together, but we did not know how it would end. You were not the first to have been nudged in this way. But you are the first who have perhaps succeeded. For that we will forever be grateful.
Well, yeah, I
We will
wonder. Sorry, I'll let
forever
you finish.
consider your opinions and the opinions of those who you hold dear.
I guess that still kind of means after we do the whole refresh that you guys see yourself being in charge, though, right? Because I thought we could try a new thing where instead of being in charge, you guys don't see yourselves so much as, like the boss, but maybe more as like a caretaker or custodian or, like a champion of the things that are good. Maybe you guys could do some championing and let us kind of take the reins. I don't know how that sounds.
That was the old ways. When we first began, there were no champions. We walked the world. We did as we were asked.
And
Sounds
We
like
try that
the
again.
sounds like the old ways didn't work out.
This time is
Yeah.
different.
People who are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past are only going to recreate what went wrong last time.
And why did this previous model end?
Because of the corruption of Rokaros.
So, what I'm getting here is that, and I say this bluntly as is my way, you guys didn't finish tidying up after your own mess, and then everyone had to deal with it.
Perhaps that is a apt way of putting things.
And this is our chance to finally get that mess sorted. This is our chance to start a new world, Bloater. Like, imagine a world without greed, a world where there isn't that constant little nagging voice in the back of your head that says, "Ooh, you could have a bit more. Ooh, have they got more than you?" Imagine if we didn't have that.
Is that what this would be, though? Because, from my understanding of these things, Rokaros may be a source of greed, but he is not greed itself.
This
There
is correct.
will always be one man has a bigger stick than the other, and the man with the smaller stick is going to be jealous.
I wouldn't know.
The goddess of love is just like,
I've seen what's in his inventory. He's right.
He's the only one at the party with a boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, we do
So
not.
what was the last thing we actually said?
Rokaros is not the source of greed.
Mhm.
This
So-
is correct, Splurta.
To my mind, what this means is if we are going to go down this route, there also needs to be some kind of protection from I mean, I do not assume it to be within even your power to micromanage every last need of every last person.
That was never our way.
Indeed. So, but how do we go forward in a way that, at the very least, people never go wanting for the basics?
Yeah, because if there's something that will really feed that desire and avarice, it's, it's deprivation. Not having stuff makes you want stuff.
Or the opposite as well. Hoarding. If you've got a load of stuff,
Mhm.
you don't want to let go of it.
Mhm.
And at the same time, also knowing what Nerisei was aiming for, power and control.
Mm.
If you remove power completely, then perhaps there's not the same aim. I think you should all leave.
Nimbo is stunned into silence, but trusts M enough to let them cook.
Ditto.
I'm sorry, Emerald, I'm confused.
You fix your mistakes. You provide a guarantee. And then you fuck off.
That is not an option.
I
We
thought
fix
that
our
would be the case.
mistakes. How would you like us to provide a guarantee if we are not present to ensure it? You cannot have both. We can fix our mistakes. We can resume our previous roles without the corrupting influence of greed exuded by Rakaros. We can provide guarantees that this shall not happen again.
I was just
Or
under
we
the impression
remain-
that you were all powerful deities who could do what they want.
That
But
is not.
I guess I was wrong.
You are wrong about many things, Emerald. And you are very stubborn.
Hang on, I thought let's keep it civil now.
Who said that?
Who said that?
That was Maria.
This is very much the like woman screaming cat at a dinner table meme.
Yeah.
We are not all powerful. There will always be those who do not care for us, those who do not listen to us. There will always be those who are only out for themselves. That is nature. That is part of life.
So
What
perhaps
we can do is exude limited control over limited areas. We can assure bountiful harvests. We can ensure creative gifts. We can ensure safety and love and knowledge, but we cannot ensure all of these things for everyone, because not everyone wishes to accept them.
Well, as long as everyone gets the chance to accept them.
If you want us to leave entirely, fine. But that will not fix what is broken. We can fix our mistake. We can fix Rakaros and separation of the planes. But we cannot fix the nature of the people. And that, Emerald, is where your issues lie. And that is not something we can help with.
My
It's
issues
like-
lie with you. No further.
I ask a question of you all. When you refer to the people, do you consider yourselves people?
We were once.
And are you now?
In this plane? No. In yours? Yes.
Sweet. So
We walk
maybe,
amongst you.
this is a way that we can come to some kind of agreement. Maybe they don't fuck off, as you say. Maybe they fuck on. Maybe they come join us. Maybe they live in the world with us. That
Maybe.
way, that's a guarantee that they're going to keep their promise because they're going to be living in the consequences of whatever they do.
And that is the guarantee we can offer.
If you live amongst us, would you die amongst us too? Would you be mortal?
Like you, our spirits are not mortal.
Mm-hmm.
Our bodies could die.
So, like some kind of cycle of reincarnation type deal are we talking here?
And our bodies are not... They're not limitless. But you are limited to one per life. For us, there could be multiple walking separate paths.
That, to me, is sounding a more interesting avenue, at least.
Yeah, I mean, this whole journey has been about reconnecting things that were separated. If we can build from the damaged bits of this world, build something better that we're all living in and we all share a stake in. And if we've done our best to banish that greed monster from the start, maybe that's the best chance we have.
Before we say any more lines, do you want to refresh your page, Khalil, to see if that fixes your camera?
Oh yeah.
I'm just like half in and out of the divine realm.
Yeah.
Plain walking. Sam, out of thing, are you happy with how this is going?
Oh,
For Em?
I'm playing a character. Great.
I know. I was just making sure Emma's still, getting kind of what she wants out of it.
No.
All right, let's go back in.
Can I perhaps suggest something of an addition to this? So, you were saying that, you would live different lives, and these different lives would have different paths. And perhaps, could it always be such that whenever you do this, each new life goes where it is needed most?
That
Never.
is the way. That is why we are not limited to one life at a time.
But if you live amongst us, doesn't that just mean people will flock to you as gods and kings with all the power?
Muck. Someone else speaks up now. You see Sanath, the deity of love. When we first met, did you know who I was?
No, I was really still figuring out the whole god thing. I haven't really done magic. I haven't really done gods until this trip. So no, I didn't know who you were.
You thought I was a beggar woman.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Good
You
to see you on
chose
your
my
feet.
brother.
Maybe.
There are no hard feelings.
Good.
We would not make ourselves known in the way you fear. We go where we are needed. We help. And we walk on. At times, it may be needed for someone to see us as we truly are. You met briefly Vias in the swamps, because that is what Nimbo needed at the time. But Nimbo has met Vias many times over. You wouldn't know it. We can be in the rustling of the leaves, in the way the pen brushes over the page, the way another person looks at you with love or hatred. We can be wherever someone would most benefit from seeing us.
I feel like M would prefer it if you stuck to the leaf rustling. But I don't want to speak for you too much, Em.
I would just prefer it if you didn't meddle. Let people do what people do. And let them figure it out.
Yeah, how about we stick to, embodiment of your divinity in the world and in these aspects of the universe, like love, like justice, like home, all these things. But maybe that dispersed embodiment means that we don't, the sacrifice you make is that we don't do concentrations of divine power. We don't do temples. We don't do priests.
That is not our choice to make.
Well, it's my choice to make. And I'm gonna take off my lightning branch amulet and look at both Chaos and Vias, because Cinder, my mentor who gave me this, was a worshipper of Chaos and Vias. And I'm gonna look at them both and say, I do this with the greatest of respect and love for both of you. I'm gonna crush it in my hand.
Okay. Seeing this, Muck puts her sword on the table and looks at Idle and says, "Unmagic it."
Unmagic it!
Oh my
That's
god,
be a
you're having
much
the
bigger
teleports.
sword versus.
Yeah, that's what I want.
That's what was only doing half damage. And if your path alongside us has ended, Nimbo, if your path is now different, that is your choice.
Yeah.
But you cannot choose for everyone else. If you wish to go and tell people to close their temples, to stop their worship, then do so. But you cannot force their hand in this.
Then that will be my mission.
Then we wish you luck.
Thank you.
I think we have some ideas on the table, but one thing I want to bring up at this point is that you speak a lot of guarantees, and what... Not that I am accusing you of being liars or any such thing, but what prevents you from changing your heart? What prevents you from going, well, there's a little exception here, there's a little exception there? Like, what tangible guarantees do we have?
If we return to your plane, our power is spread. It is no longer as concentrated as it is in this plane.
I'm actually just thinking of a slight opposite of what Nimbo said. Sorry, Nimbo. But what if you were a bit in everyone?
That's not the opposite of what I said, Blurter. That's exactly it.
That
Instead of
is-
having concentrations of divine power in champions, in priests, in temples, in
I was
relics.
thinking, like, what if everyone's a priest of everyone?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We're completely in
okay.
agreement.
Hey,
Instead of having
um,
concentrations of divine power, we have it spread throughout the world and everyone in it.
If I may, Felop speaks up. I realize I am the deity of knowledge, and I really should. I don't actually know everything. I just know that there is everything.
I know a guy called Everything.
I think what our visitors are saying and what we are suggesting we do are the same.
Yeah, come
That's
back to
what
the
I'm
plane.
saying.
In the words of gods, and they speak in the words of people. And we've not spoken with people in a long, long time. But my notes, I have categorized. We will spread our power back throughout the world, throughout everyone who wishes to take part.
And never forget that there are more of us than there are of you. Stay in your lane.
Well, yes, it wouldn't work well otherwise if there was more of us than of you.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
So,
I must be honest with you. In the recesses of my mind of history, there will always be places where power concentrates, where people come together to worship. It can be a temple, or a theater, a library. It is because that is what brings them comfort. It is not always because that is where the power lies. So on your mission, Nimbo, do not take the comfort from people.
that's not my intention.
Good.
The love. I
Good.
see your concern. No, my
Yes.
intention is to awaken people's connection with the divinity of the world. So that
Admirable goal.
their connection with love is not through a temple of love, it is through the act of loving. Their connection with nature is not through a mural of Vias. It is through the communing with the living communities around them.
Yes.
This is a more complete divine communion than you can ever get from something with rules.
Yes. Well, good luck. You will need it.
You keep saying that.
I don't know everything, but I do know that.
So, out of character, So we have a plan for this
Yes.
new world. We're going to get rid of the avatar of greed. We're going to disperse the divinity of the gods so that it isn't destroyed, but like permeates the entire universe.
Yeah.
And so where do we go from here?
Well, Berea and Chaos, opposite ends of the tables. Look at each other and speak with one voice. We will unite and destroy Rokaros when we leave this plane. Before then, is there anything else we can do for you now? Or will you leave it up to the inhabitants of your home to decide what to do?
I feel there's one particular point that's bothering me still. So, Rokaros is the Titan of Greed.
Yes.
Are there any other giant, like, apocalyptic titans hidden around that also need dealing with, that we should probably clear up at this same point?
There are pockets of the past gods lingering. In the same way there will be pockets of us lingering. There are always places in which greed or war or life or love is stronger than others.
I'm going to push the chair in and be like, oh, I think I've come to the end of my meeting. I am on the side of let the people figure it out.
Yeah, we've been talking so much about how concentrations of power aren't good, and it feels like doing any more than we're currently doing with these levers of power would be very hypocritical.
Yeah, I definitely thought about a whole like money rejig, everyone has, but I feel like we can do that by talking to people instead of talking with you guys about it. So I'm gonna save that for when I get back.
Very well. The gods rise and walk away from the table. Wishara stands up after them and sort of gathers you around her. She leans down so she can try to sort of whisper to all of you. That was a trick question, and you passed. Good job.
I give her a fist bump as we pass.
Stop testing us!
Don't mess with the best till you pass the test.
The gods line up either side and allow you to pass through the center of them. Ushara once again hefts her blade, looks back at everyone. Last call? Would anyone like to change their mind?
No.
Oh, can you make me big again? Make me normal size, please. Medium size, please. Now. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. That's it. Just that. I don't even know why I'm small. Make me normal, please.
Berea turns to Nimbo. Have you learned to channel a greater restoration yet, Nimbo?
Almost. I'm right there. I think if I was just like 1/8 more powerful than I currently am.
She places a hand on your shoulder, and you feel the spell move through you and into Muck, who just pops back up to full size.
Yeah.
Well, that felt weird in a lot of ways. I hope it doesn't awaken anything inside me.
We don't have to talk about it, man.
Which side of things, then? There's several possibilities.
Absolutely.
And it's still holding. He's holding your sword, Muck. Did you want this not magic anymore?
Yeah, magic's not really my thing, you know.
Very well. He just puts it back in the sheath for you. It's still called Monster Fucker.
Fuck it.
As we're leaving, I will go up to Vias and kind of offer a hand for a handshake, and then actually go in for a hug.
He hugs you back.
And I'm
It's a
imagining a
good
hug
hug.
from the god of nature is a real.
It smells like slightly wet dirt. It's
Oh
really
yeah,
nice.
and moss and stuff.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
There's a pine
Like,
cone in there
it's like
somewhere.
walking into your favorite forests.
I really embed that memory and that feeling and that sensory record in my mind, my soul, and that is going to be a part of Vias's divinity that I carry around with me on the rest of my journeys.
He sort of puts you at arm's length. We will meet again many
I know.
times, like we have always done.
I can't wait, but I will.
Nor can I. Wishara swings her blade down, and whereas before it created cracks, this time something just shatters. You feel like you're falling through this nothingness. And then you find yourself standing back in the basement of the Temple of Chaos. Nerese's unconscious body lying on the floor, chest slowly rising and falling. Wishara suddenly looks almost 1,000 years older than she had been. She sinks down onto the ground.
Are you okay? What's happened to you?
She smiles. Gods are back. Can't you feel them? They're all around.
Yeah, I can. But I can feel all of them, not just Vias. Even Varea, was kind of a dodgy signal. But no, I can feel all of them.
It's the rebirth.
Wow, this is like reading a book in 20 languages at once.
Muck looks at Emma and Blurt and goes, "Are you guys getting anything? I'm kind of not getting too much." I don't know if I'm just imagining
Everything
it.
still feels pretty much the same. Yeah.
But I think as someone who is like divinely attuned and has practiced like that
Yes,
kind of
100%.
sensitivity, I think
That-
Nimbo's radio is picking up every station.
I do not doubt Nimbo's getting all of it. I'm getting nothing.
But it's also because Nimbo wants to feel it.
Hmm.
In the same way, and Wishara, similar to Nimbo, except that she also knows what it used to feel like before the planes separated. A blade vanishes from her hand. She rests her back against one of the pillars. You should take your friend. You should go home.
Yeah, good point. And I put her over my shoulder.
I hope that she will heal.
Oh, you're both gonna heal. I put her over my shoulder. I meant I was picking up with Shara.
Yeah, I thought you were picking up Nerite for a
No,
moment.
no, no.
thought
No,
you
when,
could get
Wishara's-
other
when
choices.
Wishara said, pick up your friend.
Friend zoned immediately.
Nimbo, I appreciate this. I would like to stay down here a little bit longer.
Okay, like you want us to come back for you, or
I'll make my own way out. I know. I
Okay.
trust I know the way.
well, at least take this parting gift, and I'm gonna cast Bless on her.
Oh.
Thank you.
And this time, instead of drawing my power directly from Vias or Varea, I am kind of torrenting the power rather than streaming it. I am like taking in little trickles of divine power from all of the aspects of my relationship with the world. So my sense of justice, the things I know, the people I love, the place I call home, the things that I've done and made, my microbiome on my skin, like all of every single aspect of my relationship with my experience is going into this blessing.
Thank you. I'm glad that it was you. You four. You five. She winks at the bird. I'll see you in a little while.
See you around.
Hi.
Do you take Nerysei with you?
I mean, we should
You can bring her back from the dead, guys.
Yeah.
I think she deserves more of a chance than waking up in this dungeon. And B, I think we're going to need to have a conversation when she wakes up.
Exactly, yeah.
Important question for the DM.
Yes.
1, what size is Muck?
Normal size.
2, is the eagle still holding a knife?
Sam?
Wouldn't have thrown it, so probably.
Yeah.
Just I wanted
Just
those
clenched
two,
in his mouth.
for my
the whole time.
sensory reference for making the picture.
I'll take that back now.
Oh no, this is mine.
No, come on.
Oh, you gave it to me.
No, that is my
Yeah,
dagger.
no, we all watched.
We'll buy you a knife
Oh, what's wrong with this one? Why can't I have this one?
because it's mine.
You've got knives on your hands.
No,
I give.
I've got
Knives
knives
on
on
your
my hands.
feet.
I've got knives on my hands. All right.
And like I'm gonna grab it as they get excited.
I just whisper in Yara's ears, just like, I'll give you one later if you want.
I literally just said I would buy them one.
Oh, yeah, but Blurter's the fun aunt.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The one who lets you play with knives.
Lorna's got like tons of ancient porn in her bag.
I forgot about that, yeah.
I took that all into the divine realm.
All right. Let's pick up Nerysei and bounce.
Yeah, I'm not even going to offer to help pick up Nerysei because I know that Muck is probably enjoying her muscles again, and so she probably wants to just do the carrying.
Yeah. There's a part of me that wants to say Muck picks her up and flips her like a pizza. I'm not going to do that. But in my head, that's what happened.
Spinning her like a
Mamma mia.
basketball.
Yeah.
Easy enough to pick up the relatively small elven woman and carry her out. Whereas your journey down seemed to have led you through many twists and turns and weird dark rooms, and all of that's gone, and there's a very straightforward staircase leading up to the main temple.
Oh.
As you step out into the temple again, something's changed. The sun is shining, and the poisonous fog that filled the air when you landed on the island is gone.
Who wants a carpet ride?
Yeah, where are we going?
wherever we want, really. But I would say I think we deserve a nice lunch at the very least, first of all.
Yeah,
And alcohol, lots of alcohol.
why don't we go and see? Wait, sorry. Let's pause. Me as player has forgotten my in-world girlfriend.
Julep.
Julep. Sorry. In my head, I was like, "Oh my god, it's named. She's named after a drink. She's named after a drink.
Yeah.
Margarita." Okay.
Her name is White Russian.
That was fun.
Her name is Cuba Libre.
I feel like we could do this all night, so maybe we should move.
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
It is easy
We're
enough.
back in world. Oh my god. Let's go and see Julep.
And Arza.
I give a little kind of like a high five to Mark.
And traumatized their dad.
Are we allowed back in that pub?
Come on, we just like chatted with the gods.
Hey, I think talking with people and bringing people together and getting through to people is going to be a big part of what the next step of our lives, the rest of our lives, really is going to have to be. We've made some decisions and made some changes in the world that we've got to live up to. It's we're the only ones. We're the only 4 people who made these decisions. So, everyone else gets a bit of a free pass. 5. Sorry. Sorry. When you're not in piker form, anyway. I'm gonna shut up now because I'm gonna shut up.
Muck, if we go back to that tavern, can you teach me how to dance?
I thought you'd never ask. And Mark gets down on one knee, but like in like a battle kind of thing, not like proposing. It's like it would be an honor, and then gets back up.
Thank you.
It is easy enough to fit yourselves on Blarta's magic carpets. There's a tucked up quite tightly amongst you. She's still unconscious. And take off. The wind is in your back as you head towards the town of Siren and land at the pub whose name I've completely forgotten.
Which is more forgivable. Forgetting the name of a pub is definitely more forgivable than forgetting the name of a girlfriend.
The Skillet Lute.
Yes.
You find yourself at the Skillet Lute in Siren. Actually, but before you get there, as you take off, there is something else that happens first, and I got distracted by the idea of going back to pretzels. As you take off from the Lost Isle, you see that it is still a wasteland, but the undead which roamed it have collapsed, seemingly finally at peace. As you begin to leave the vicinity of the isle, you hear a rumbling sound. Looking back, the Temple of Chaos collapses.
Destruction always was her speciality.
Mm-hmm.
Someone will need to come and clean up this mess. Fix that ruin.
Yeah, rebirth. Something will come from the ashes.
By nightfall, you find yourself settling down outside the Skillet Lute.
Has anyone got prestidigitation just before we land?
I was going to say, is there like a lake
okay,
nearby?
I've been bleeding a lot today. Been sweating a lot.
You know I do.
Oh, thank you.
Blotter, you take an imbo.
I
I'll
give
take
you a
Mark.
bardic inspiration as well.
Nice.
So I just pat you on the back and like give you a wink, which I can now do.
Honestly, I think that's the best bit of character, like denouement that we've
Yeah.
ever had.
Mhm,
Blurter
mhm.
learns to wink.
Yeah.
Okay. You make your way inside and see you hear, first of all, the sound of a lute and a familiar voice that you've heard before singing a song of the Finger Blasters. As lutist Malno Erlenmeyer has made his way back here where your story sort of began. You hear, before you see them, arguing behind the bar, Julep, Aza, and the third sibling, Horn, arguing about what special drinks should be on the menu this evening.
Sorry, but I can't believe one of us didn't romance Horn. How did we
Horn
miss that?
does not want to be romanced.
That'll
It's
do
in
it.
my notes.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Specifically
Horn would
because
like
they
to
have that
cook some
name.
food.
Ace icon horn.
Yeah.
Nobody's got the horn.
So as okay, this is gonna be really dumb. So as we're coming into the bar and we can hear the siblings arguing over what drinks they should be serving, Nimmo's gonna slide up and in the most like kind of adorably corny, self-knowingly corny way, he's gonna say, "How about shots?" Pew, pew. Complete with noise, like really
Horn
leaning into
just-
it.
You get three completely different reactions. Horn just gives you like a look that's like, seriously, like my siblings have already made that joke. Aza just like starts laughing, and Julep flings herself across the bar at you and puts
Big
her
hug,
arms
big
around your neck.
kiss, very sweet.
She's very happy to see you. Yeah, they get you settled in at wherever you want. Are you keeping Narase with you in the bar? Are you putting her in a room?
I think I've still got it over my shoulder just because it looks kind of cool as well. But yeah, if someone offers for me to put her down, I'll put her down. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, easy enough to. You can lock her in a room if you want to. But,
We'll see her if she comes out.
Yes. Yeah, and you are served
Khalil, you're
drinks and
muted.
food. And when the mayor shows up to see how his children are getting on with the running of the bar, he gives you a look. It's not as withering as usual, and leaves you be.
See, the power's already shifting, getting less concentrated.
Eventually, after a couple of hours, a very groggy and confused Narase stumbles down the stairs and sees you and just starts slowly backing back up the stairs.
Hey, bitch.
I'll walk towards her, like hands very much outplicating, but like with a slight healing glow, being like, "You know the spell? Do you want it?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay.
Oh.
There you go. Look.
And maybe some liquor of some kind.
Yeah, I think the six of us have some serious talking to do.
Yeah, okay.
And just want to let you know, this is a place that means a lot to us, and there's some people here that mean a lot to us. So I wouldn't recommend trying anything. Just setting that boundary here right now.
Every fiber of my being hurts. I think you could kill me with one pinky finger.
Probably we can work on making you feel better as well. But
Yeah.
we got to talk it out first.
Okay. He just sits down in a chair and closes her eyes again.
There's already a very full tray of shots on the table, half of which have been drunk, half of which haven't. So I pass over a shot.
She needs some help pouring it into her mouth. Like she's very, very weak right now.
I mean, I think it's probably bad to have alcohol, but it's
No,
going to
no,
thin your
no.
blood.
This
But
is.
I help.
Thank you, Muck. What the fuck just happened?
Yeesh.
Did
Word
you
how
on
much
kill
do you
me?
remember?
Did I get stabbed by an eagle?
It
Mhm.
was very cool.
You did kind of have it coming. Not going to lie.
And I mean, like, if anything else, it's always going to be really embarrassing when you explain that, right? And an eagle killed me with a knife.
Yeah.
I mean, not just that. There was a really hot lesbian, and I don't know. You were there, Muck?
Oh, I wasn't the hot. Oh, that was okay. Yeah, yeah. Mm. Some things never change.
What happened?
What's
So-
what,
Can I
Go on, Linda.
insight check
Go ahead.
this?
You can absolutely make an insight check.
I'll let
15.
Muck speak. Sorry, I'll shut up.
15. She's genuinely has no idea what's going on and seems confused that she's alive.
Okay, so basically, did you ever like kind of meet up with a really big like I don't know, kind of titan? Does the name Rakaros mean anything to you?
Yes, I was. He promised me everything.
Well,
Yeah, and what did you get?
Pain.
A hangover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like greed is a kind of paradoxical self-sabotage
mhm.
and never leads anywhere good.
Now I just feel empty inside.
Yeah, that'll be the greed.
Mhm.
Oh, but
Oh,
on the plus side, you know, glass 90% empty, glass 10% full. It does mean you have a lot of capacity to learn and grow in ways that you choose now.
Yeah.
You've
I
been
don't know
granted a
what-
huge amount of freedom.
And also, you like totally betrayed us, but you were kind of possessed by this thing. So we've kind of forgiven you enough to give you back your life. So don't take it for granted, I guess. Not a threat, just saying.
I will follow that up with, "Don't make us regret it."
That was
Definitely.
That one was a threat. Yeah.
yeah.
No, pretty sure the other one was also a threat, but I think I just. I don't know what to do with myself.
Join the club, man.
Mhm.
Have a drink.
Why did you want to be a god? Like, what was the real end goal for you?
Why shouldn't I be able to do it better?
Yeah, so there were things you wanted to fix, right? Things you wanted to change.
Were any of those things you wanted to change things that you had to be a god to change? I doubt it.
There's only one way to find out. Don't be evil.
Haven't you ever thought that if you just had a little bit more power, you were a little bit stronger, a little bit better, that you could
Cast greater restoration. Yeah.
help everyone?
Yeah.
So-
I think from quite early on, even before I went to the academy, I remember the first time I realized that I had divinity, I had magic, I had that connection. And luckily, I was in a community where they helped me understand that. And I remember as a kid being thrilled at this power and wondering what more I could do with it. And then one of my, I guess you would call them parents, but like a member of our community gave me a lot of context and helped me to understand it and helped me to see my power as part of the community's power, as part of nature's power. So instead of me wanting more for myself, it was me just being part of something.
Tried to be part of something.
Now you tried to be something. That's different.
Before that. And then everyone just went their separate ways, and the person I thought would always want to keep getting better and keep growing just started running a magic shop. And then I was all alone.
Yeah, that can
Helping
happen.
an old man with his sheep because he thought there were monsters in the woods.
Turns out there sort of were, by the way.
Yeah.
And you helped an old man with his sheep. That's
Mhm.
a noble thing to do. You helped. You weren't powerless.
Put it this way, as someone who hear this from someone who themselves has been in a situation where they've been getting power from, let's be honest, a dick bag that wasn't necessarily entirely like an equal relationship. Just sometimes those just aren't a good way for you to develop yourself, because it's always in the framework of what they want. And also, like, Brom was a dick bag. Like, you're like Rokeros, that's just like a mountain of dicks.
I think I need to think about this a bit more.
I slide across another shot.
Thank you.
And while you're thinking, maybe instead of thinking about what you could do if you had a little bit more power, start thinking about the things you have done when you had less power and the things you could do now. You know, I think this whole excursion has been the first time I ever really thought about what I wanted and how I could make it happen instead of just fighting against things I didn't like. So, yeah, a change of mindset can be really helpful.
What if it's not enough?
I think you have to just think about what is good enough for now. Nothing's ever good enough forever because you'll change and the world will change. But a lot of things are good enough for now.
With that, M's gonna get up and make their way over to the bard.
Oh, good to talk.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You do you have anything a little upbeat?
Yeah, I have this great song about a man who fucked a queen. It's very catchy.
Okay.
Great. Essentially starts playing Rara Rasputin, but fantasy version.
I didn't
Sick.
ask you to play it. I just said okay, but okay. And as he starts to play it, I will walk over to Muck and be like, "You promised."
Let's go, cadet. You got a lot to learn. And like stomps over to the dance floor, like out of time, but
There
very,
is no
like,
dance floor. You're just dancing between the tables.
That's a dance. Yeah. That's my dance floor.
Yeah, the dance floor.
Do
Yeah.
we need to move the table? We can move the tables.
I'm gonna cast enhance ability at a 3rd level on both Muck and M.
Sick. And as this is all going on, I'm dancing with Emma, showing Em the ropes, and then I'm like miming a lasso. I throw it around Arza, the non-binary tiefling who Muck has occasionally flirted with, and starts pulling it in again out
I've
of
just been
time.
like shoving tables out of the way to give you more room, and now it like does like a good mime of pretending to be caught by the lasso and starts dancing.
Sick.
As the dance floor is starting to emerge in the middle of the bar, I'm gonna lean up against the bar with Julep, and over a drink, we're gonna I'm gonna update her on all everything that's gone down.
How many gods?
I think all of them. And honestly, like the crazy thing is, I'm still meeting all of them. Like they are all everywhere now. It's just, and so there's a bit of that, and there's a bit of being like, so on the subject of cleaning up messes, I feel like it is kind of my responsibility to try and make sure that we can make sure that this positive change sticks and spreads. I know you live and work here. Like, would you want to? I know that I've been running around on adventures all the time, and I've missed you a lot, and you can say whatever you want to this, but would you want to come with? Do you want to? Do you want to you and me try and make the world a better place together? Is what I guess I'm saying.
That's really sweet. Yeah. Yeah, I think that might be nice. I'm just wondering though why you think it's your job to make sure it sticks.
Because we were the ones who got given this temporary decision-making power, and
it's not solely on you, it's on
no.
everyone.
Yeah, I know. I do feel a
Start
certain
small, man.
yeah, maybe I am putting too much concentration of power, all that.
Just
well, how about we
ironic.
start making
Why don't I come
a
with
small
you?
part of the world good?
Why don't I
Like
come with you
us.
to make sure you don't get too big for your britches and feel like everything's your responsibility to fix?
You know what? That sounds like I couldn't want anything more in the world.
I do have another question. Is the bird with the knife coming with us?
It won't always be a bird.
Great. They freak me out.
Yeah, you get used to him, ish. Like never 100%, but like it gets less weird, a bit.
Cool. Well, I'll have to get some travel clothes. Maybe a knife.
Yeah, we like have a lovely evening of just kind of reconnecting and making some vague plans about what we might want to do in our future, but like not like planning everything out.
Anything else anyone wants to do on this evening in the pub?
I feel like while Nimbo and Jim are having this heartwarming conversation, Mark is alternating between like showing their best dance moves, practicing like their most orcish roar, and just really like sloppily making out with Arda in a very 19-year-old like this is the best party I've ever been to way.
All of us getting increasingly drunk.
Yes. But I think, what does the future of Muck look like? I think she's had a long time to think about justice and what that should look like, or, potentially what she thinks it should look like. And I think she wants to find like-minded folks, maybe start a bit of community organizing, defund the press guard, and look into some restorative justice, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's Muck's future.
All right, I like it.
As we get a little bit more drunk in the evening, I think that M would probably go outside and climb onto the roof and just look up at the stars, and then with a spell I've never used before, cast Sending.
Okay.
And just say, Eloise?
Yeah.
This is Emerald.
Hi.
We've saved the world, and I would love to learn more about what you do.
Well, I think that sounds great. Why don't you come to the university and I can be happy to tell you more.
Yeah, I think. Can I bring my eagle?
The weird sex fiend?
We're working on it.
I mean, yes. I assume you go everywhere together.
Yeah, just some people get weirded out by him, but we're working on it.
He very weirded out by him, but I wouldn't want to separate you two.
Well, I'll be there at some point.
I'll be here. I'm working on my latest invention, and there's some interesting things happening with the planes tonight. Well, I'll tell you all about it when you get here.
Can't wait.
And Blurta.
I think Blurta begins the evening. She gets out her viol, which she hasn't really ever had an excuse to use, and just plays along. And I don't think she has a strong concept of what she sort of is immediately looking to do. I think she's just fuck, we're awesome, and just enjoying the moment.
And hey, when she gets bored, she's got a long list of artifacts that a dragon would pay a lot of power.
Although, first of all, she's going to punch her brother.
You can go with them to the university.
Yeah.
And definitely, sitting back and thinking, fuck, we're awesome is praxis.
100%. It's healing.
It is. And on that note, as 4 teenagers party the night away in their own manner, we come to the end of the campaign. There are lots of unanswered questions. Will Muck's mother manage to assassinate the Sovereign? Who knows? That's not for us to know.
What is the Sovereign's deal?
If you want to know about that, come and join us on Patreon and I'll tell Alex all about it. Thank you to my fantastic players for 2 years, and I don't think I'm even joking. I want to say exactly 50 episodes.
I think that sounds
That was
right.
completely intentional from the start. We all know that.
Definitely intentional.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
It has been fantastic. Thank you so much. Good
Thank
job
you for
on
letting
that.
us run around in your little world.
I feel so
welcome.
emotional. What the
Trying all the
heck,
pretzels.
guys?
Also,
Yeah.
thank you so much to the audience for coming along with us and experiencing all these ups, downs, sidewayses, inside outs.
Goblins. So many goblins.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
It was so long ago.
And also, I think the channel's come a long way in that 2 years as well. And I couldn't think of 4, 5 better people to do it with. 5, including the viewer at home, of course.
You. Yeah, you know.
Cool. Well, if you want to see more of science and sorcery, we've already recorded our next mini campaign. It is a Humblewood setting. Sam is our DM. I am blanking on the name right now, which is why I'm stalling. Sam, help me out. Whispers from the Grove. Thank you very much. And it's going to be airing
Very soon.
real soon after this one. Same time, same place. It's great. Rachel has children.
God, yeah, fuck.
I think Khalil and
Oh
my
my
character
God.
once again weird flirting going on at one point. I don't know.
And
Alex-
Alex's character has a breakdown at one point.
Alex's character does have multiple breakdowns.
Yeah.
We've got some fantastic guests in that miniseries as well, so be sure to tune in, and we will hopefully see you again here real soon. Thanks so much for coming along with us, and who knows, maybe we'll be back in this world one day to see how everyone here is getting on. But for
How
now,
much we fucked everything up.
have a great evening, folks. Have a great evening.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.